What happens when Trump targets you on Twitter? 5 Americans named by the president on social media talk about the unexpected fallout in their real lives. President Donald Trump spent the days before Christmas launching personal attacks against Andrew McCabe, the embattled outgoing deputy director of the FBI, whom the president accused of racing against the clock to retire with full benefits. It was a fitting way to end the first year of his presidency, which has been punctuated by his targeting of individuals, from sports stars to print journalists to television personalities to Republican lawmakers. On Twitter, the personal attacks from the leader of the free world, blasted out to his 45 million followers, have no real precedent in American politics. They've energized the president and his base, outraged his opponents and driven entire news cycles, but also shocked and traumatized those individuals on the receiving end. It was funny, a little surreal, billionaire Mark Cuban wrote in an email, regarding the president's verdict, delivered online last February, that Cuban was not smart enough to run for president. For others, like comedian Kathy Griffin, the impact of a presidential tweet directed at her was much more devastating, costing her jobs and fans. Politico talked to 5 people who have been singled out online by the leader of the free world, whether to be praised or pulverized, about what the surreal experience was like, on a personal and professional level. I was on the set, I was finishing the show, and everybody looked really uncomfortable, the Morning Joe co-host recalled of the day the president's infamous facelift tweet reopened a conversation about Trump's bullying of women and sparked an outcry, and even a hashtag, #StandWithMika, on her behalf. Willie, Geist, showed it to me. He was sitting next to me. I felt like people were more upset than I was. The tweet, referring back just to last December, when Brzezinski and her fiancé and co-host, Joe Scarborough, were social pals of the president, hit Brzezinski at the tail end of 24 months of back-to-back personal traumas, blunting its effect, she said. In the past 2 years, I've lost my best friend to pancreatic cancer, I've gotten divorced, my oldest daughter had this harrowing day on her college campus, and we thought she had been kidnapped. My father went into the hospital and died, and right after my dad died, my mother had 2 heart attacks, and a month later the president tweeted. The level for me of the tweet was below 0, she added. I remember being surprised even in myself. When Trump launched his Twitter attack, she said, she was just growing accustomed to strangers stopping her on the street to offer their condolences about the death of her father, Zbigniew Brzezinski, an elder statesman and public intellectual who served as national security advisor to President Jimmy Carter. I was using my line, I'd say, thank you so much, yes, he was a great man, she said. After the tweet, people were running up to me to talk about it, and I was still saying, yes, thank you. He was such a great man. If she was feeling numb, other women were outraged on her behalf. Alaska Republican Sen. Lisa Murkowski tweeted at the president, stop it. The presidential platform should be used for more than bringing people down. Ratings for Morning Joe skyrocketed the next day, surpassing Trump's preferred wake-up call, Fox and Friends. But Brzezinski, at the center of the entire controversy, says she wasn't deeply offended at the time. The ones about the facelift were humorous, she said. I wasn't on the same page as everyone else. I feel embarrassed if people think I was embarrassed. I got Botox. I'm very open about that stuff. It didn't hurt me. She responded with a photograph of a Cheerios box with the cereal's slogan, made for little hands, hoping to get under the president's thin skin with a joke aimed at one of his well-known physical insecurities. Morning Joe executive producer, Alex Corson saw me pouring my breakfast as we were all meeting after the show, she said. I was eating, everyone else was talking. He saw the picture on the back and pointed to it.